Let's dive into the world of marketing stuff, and that's AI in the Marketing Cloud by Salesforce. Maybe just start off talking about, I think everybody should know who's tuned into the show what Salesforce is, but talk about Einstein and the Marketing Cloud.
Yeah, so Einstein One is the AI platform, and they are integrating. So NRF, which is the big show, retail show, was just what was that last week or 2 weeks ago. Um, Salesforce announced some new integration into their Commerce Cloud and Marketing Cloud. So Einstein One will be connected into kind of retail shopping data, but then also into an Einstein Copilot for shoppers. So there's some of it that's for shoppers, and then some of it that's for return insights for order management. And then there's also a referral marketing program. So it's like an AI supported likely to refer tool for brand referral programs, which are obviously becoming way more popular. But really what they're doing here is it's just leveraging all these AI models to turn behavior into like kind of that next best action, next best brand experience. And it's all across marketing, sales, and service. But what I think kind of this is news, and sometimes we report on news, but really the more important part is the analysis of it. And I watched the Salesforce CEO, Mark Benioff, in a Bloomberg interview from the World Economic Forum. And he was talking about AI and why they're infusing Einstein AI into so much of their platform. And he said that there are three things that CEOs are looking for: more margin, increased productivity, and enhanced customer relationships. So they're using AI to do all of this. And he said, their Einstein AI already does 1 trillion AI transactions a week.
Yeah, by the way, every time I hear about that, I'm like, okay.
He said,
Benioff would never say something like that as fact if it weren't true. But it's just like,
it's
that's a
a lot.
lot.
So that's both predictive and generative. So I think there's a lot of the predictive that's going on in the background, and then
And
the
that's
generative.
okay. AI is AI is AI. I mean, I
Right.
know it's different technologically, but in the end, customers don't care.
Yeah. So basically what he's saying is like what it has to do is it has to augment their service, it has to augment marketing, it has to augment their employees and their customers. And so whatever part of like the human experience, Salesforce is jumping in on it. So I think this is well, I think we're going to continue to see this. And I think you saw this at Dreamforce, that they're just going all in on AI. He had another really interesting point, and I think maybe this is a conversation for another time, but let's just put this out there to kind of start thinking about. Is he said, as regulators start to really dig into AI, and he said they've not done a good job of that yet, sort of the way that they've regulated social media, and they need to do a better job of that. But as regulators start to look at that, if we are looking truly at AI replacing jobs, and I don't actually think it's going to truly replace jobs, at least not in the next 10 years, but let's say in the future, will that be taxed? Like, is that I mean, think of it from a getting work done. Is that if a company doesn't pay a person, but they pay for AI, is that like, where's all that income tax go? Will robots be taxed?
Listen, we will find a way to tax anything that is bringing. It's how we arrived at taxing Amazon. If there was a warehouse in Texas that had nothing to do with a transaction that was being sent to California, we would find a way to tax it.
Yeah.
And where we agreed on that was if you have a brick and mortar in a certain state, we will tax that, whether it's the receiver or the sender.
Mhm.
So yes, we will find a way to tax this for
I
certain.
mean, when you think about it, the US government is probably, or many governments will probably figure out a way to do that, because if you say it's going to replace, let's even say it's 5% of the workforce, think of all of that taxable income. Where does that go? So they'll either find a way to tax the robots or the companies making them. It's gonna shake out somewhere. I just thought that was a really interesting thought that I hadn't really heard anybody's perspective on yet. And
No, I liked your Forbes write-up, and I think everybody should go out there. And I know this is going to sound really heady and maybe a little bit crazy, but people need purpose in their lives. And sometimes it's family, it's faith, it's a sport, it's their jobs and what they and as humans, we have found that if you're not trying to achieve something, there's bad consequences either for mental health,
mhm,
your attitude as humans. And I don't know why God wired us like this, but I believe this is the truth, that we're just aspirers. It's
mhm,
just like we need to have a purpose in doing things to achieve a goal. And when we either become unemployed, and I'll use, I came from the Rust Belt up in Cleveland, Ohio, and those jobs, the auto manufacturing, steel, plastics, just got wiped out. They either went overseas or they went to the South, and there were no retraining programs.
mm,
I'm a big small government person, but I mean, those people didn't have a job, and 30 years later, they still don't have jobs. And guess where the highest heroin addiction was during that time? It was up in that area,
yeah,
like and super high unemployment in places like Toledo, as an example, and even parts of Akron as an example. So what will any of this replacement do if the robots are doing a lot of this stuff? And I know there's a lot of new jobs that are going to be created.
yes,
We have seen that in technology time and time again, but I don't know if we fully thought through the people impact and a guaranteed income. I forget what the acronym is for that. It's not about the money. It's about having a purpose
right.
in life. But I don't know where that came from, how we went from Einstein 1 in Marketing Cloud to Pat Moorhead's view on humanity. But we got here. Here we are.
Well, you should watch. I'll actually put it in the show notes. It's not there, but the YouTube video that came from World Economic Forum with Mark Benioff, because it really was interesting, and he did get into some of those more kind of esoteric conversations about AI that aren't just pure business, but there was some good business nuggets in there as well.